How you doing, everyone? Welcome back to Minehead here in Somerset. Yeah, I've got something to tell you. I've got some very good news and I've got some bad news. The good news is my wife's got COVID. The bad news is there's no point me going home. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you fishing with me for 2 to 3 days and hopefully film 4 sessions all around the Bristol Channel. Is that a good thing? It's the week before Christmas. I had loads planned, but my wife said I've tested positive, everything's cancelled, so you might as well go fishing. So my name's Wayne. This is day 1 of my 4-day challenge. This is Minehead. Let's go fishing.
Heading up the west coast in the morning to find a place where no one knows our faces or our names.
As you've probably seen if you watch my videos, I was here a couple days ago. We're in the grips of a cold winter. Now we're not. We're in a wet winter and the weather had been settled for weeks. So I didn't really expect much and the fishing proved pretty pants, to be honest. I had a few dogs and 1 python. Over the last few days, the conditions have changed drastically. Yesterday, you could hardly stand up here. So yeah, I know it's not like Chesil when it's rough, but the Bristol Channel can do with a big stir up now and again. So when it's been settled and we have a bit of a storm, it generally fishes a lot better. So today, we've definitely got a chance. I'm gonna get my kit together. I'm gonna get myself sorted. We'll walk down. As you know now, you can walk to the location from the van or the car. Simple fishing, easy fishing, and one of the easiest places to fish in the mighty Bristol Channel. Naturally, the Bristol Channel is chocolatey, but down this end, when it's settled, as I said the other day, with smaller tides, it can go a little bit clear, and daytime can be hard work. But yesterday, I spoke to a few locals up here, people walking their dogs. They said you could hardly stand up. Westerly beating in from down there, and as you can tell, the result is chocolatey. So hopefully it won't really matter if it's nighttime or daytime. If I put some nice baits out there, we already know we're on sand. We shouldn't lose any kit, so it should be quite comfortable. As I said before, these pebbles are okay. They are ankle breakers halfway back, so make sure you wear protective footwear like I am today. But I've definitely got a chance, or we've got a chance of getting into a few fish. It's a bigger tide than last week and everything is looking in our favour. But we've got a chance. So what I'm going to do now is get my rods out. I'll bring you back. I'll show you my rigs. I know we've done it 100 times before. I'll show you my bait. We'll do some baiting up and get some fishing on camera, because that's what it's all about. The last couple of videos have been really hard and the fishing's not been that great. So I haven't been able to film many bites or much fishing at all. It's just generally been me talking rubbish to you, so I'm sorry about that. But when the fishing picks up, we've got the conditions, we've got the tide, so hopefully, as before, we can get a few bites on camera, and you never know, we might get into a few nice fish. So today I'm using simple 3-foot pulleys. I'll walk up and show you. I know we've done it before, but we'll do it again for people that are new to my channel. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Thanks to everyone that's subscribed recently. I know I mentioned it in my last video, or the one at Watch It, but I really appreciate it. It costs you absolutely nothing and it gives me some incentive to get out and do what I do. So thank you. Anyway, back to the fishing, eh? That's what you're thinking. So I've got a 6-ounce gripper to a splashdown, 150-pound rig body, to a bead, a pulley bead, to a 90-pound hook length, to a Frio Tronics Pro circle crab hook, to a Frio J hook. Pretty straightforward, and that's the way I like it. A nice pulley system, just like that. Right, I'll get the other rigs out. I'll show you my bait, we'll do some baiting up, and we'll get fishing. As we've explained, rig-wise, I'm just going for straightforward pulleys. Bait-wise, straightforward again. I'm sure you've seen lugworm, ragworm and peeler crab before, but if not, here we go. Some fine ragworm. So for people that are new to fishing, these are the ones with legs that pinch. You can find them in sort of shingle areas. And these are lugworm. These are the ones that don't pinch. Yeah. Don't want to chuck them all over the floor. But... And there you go. Some fine lugworm. They don't pinch. Got a bag of peeler crabs. Perfect. Ready to go. And I've got a packet of squid. Pretty straightforward stuff. Stuff that you've seen me do 100 times before. Where's my lid gone? Oh, that. So yeah, we got a chance. Target fish. Blowlug, generally round fish, so codlin, bass, pouting and whiting. Pretty much the same with ragworm. Fish baits, rays, conger eel and codlin really, and bass. You can catch everything on all of it, but rays like sand eel and sort of squid. I haven't got any sand eel today, but they take whole squid. Round fish like cod and bass will take everything, but they're in here feeding on blowlug and peeler crabs. And that's what we're into. As I'm not using really small hooks, I'm not using a bait needle, I don't really need to. Just put 3 or 4 on. I'll probably put 3 or 4 blowlug on and tip it with a ragworm. Just because rag are a little bit tougher and it'll stop my bait coming off. Yeah, there we go. Pretty rough stuff. Pretty simple, eh? Hopefully we don't get dogged out. As I mentioned before, places like this, if a dogfish turn up, you get one every cast. And sometimes you can be fishing 4 or 5 hours, get a bite, as soon as it hits the water, you've just got to move. It's just no fun. There you go. 3 blowlug on a pulley pennel with a 3/0 circle crab hook, tipped off with some ragworm. Let's get it out there. If you watched my previous video here, I was putting out a nice worm bait out by the second tower just to get us into the tide, and then on a second rod I'll probably drop it in 20-30 yards, just trying to get it. It's a balancing game to get it just the other side of the rocks onto the sand, because the fish naturally, when they get pushed in, can patrol along there, especially bass and big codlin or cod. I've been caught 30 yards out here. As I mentioned in all my videos really, don't ever neglect or ignore what you're stood on. That's a big reef. The fish get pushed up against something like this, along that line of sand, and definitely feed in close. Probably only want to stick it 50-60 yards to be fair. Nothing monstrous. Just get it out there in that tide. On the second rod, just going to put it 30 yards out. There you go, in that tide rip. We're about an hour after low now, so I'm not really expecting much to happen for about another hour. Once we get the depth and we get a bit more tide pull, I should imagine we could get into a few whiting, pouting, codlin if we're lucky, maybe a bass, but probably a few dogs. It should then fish pretty much up to high and over high. At high water we've got a shout of a big conger, so if I catch any whiting or pouting that are big enough to take, I'll keep hold of them, chop them up and stick them out for a conger eel over high. As we mentioned before, conger eels aren't really designed for the Bristol Channel because there's a lot of tide and it's hard work for them. So what you normally find over low water and high gives you the best opportunity for a big conger eel in the channel. So that's what we do. We'll probably fish over high for an hour, probably an hour back, reevaluate my life, get some food, and then make my way to a different mark. Some daytime fishing, eh? For a lot of you who've been here from the start with me, with my YouTube channel, you can probably remember when I only used to fish in the day. I don't really like filming at night, it's just pretty pants, isn't it? And my sort of thing is not all about just catching, it's about being out, relaxing, being by the sea, as you know. And at night time, it's pretty pants, but it's the time of year. Naturally in winter, a lot of the sessions will be at night. So we've just got to put up with it, really. But this is what it's all about. Beautiful sunny days, filming, outside, getting fresh air, watching the waves. I know you're not here with me, but I'm sure you'll agree. It's a lot better in daylight. No bites yet. I'm not really expecting much until got a bit more tide and a little bit more depth of water, to be honest with you. It's coming in a lot quicker than the other night, naturally. Bigger tide, and it's pulling out there. As you know, I got my ratchets on, and on the right hand rod there, the tide took the ratchet earlier, so we've got some tide. I don't want to beat my rig off at the beach. I've got some bait left on this one, but that's a good sign. So the last couple of casts have been stripped out completely in about a quarter of an hour. So this time, stick a peeler out on this one and probably a whole squid on the other one. Just because I think the crabs are such a pain in the ass. They're stripping me within seconds. And I don't want to go all the way through my bait in one session using like 3 pounder worm. And I'm not sure really how long my baits are lasting out there. So at least if I put a peeler on and a whole squid, I've got a chance, haven't I? The crabs will even attack a crab that's a little bit more tougher than, you know, blow lug and rag, which I think they can just get through in seconds, especially if there's lots of them. And I've not caught anything anyway, so it's not as if it's working. And what I'm going to do as well, on this one, I've got a 6-ounce gripper, or 6 1/4 ounce. Just because on that last one I caught a little bit of weed and it pulled my 5-ounce lead around that point, which I don't want because I've got that little wall coming down and I don't want a fish to run off that way either. So I'm going to step it up. Got 6-ounce lead on a 3-foot pulley with a nice fresh peeler crab. So don't be alarmed if you see tip tape coming off the end of my rods. That one's hanging off. So instead of getting some designer stuff like Mighty Bright, I decided to go on Amazon and get some different tip tape. It was like, I think it's £4 for about 3 kilometres. As you can imagine, it's good stuff. It works all right. It's bright. It's not very adhesive. If you look at that, on my left-hand rod, it's coming off. I'll pull it off in a minute, it'll be fine. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with my rods. It's just my tip tape from the pound shop. That's doing a job. Yeah, I've not had a bite on a peeler crab, or lug, rag. The worm baits are getting stripped. I'll put a peeler out, I've not checked it yet. That should be alright. If I'd got doggies on either worm baits or the peeler, I probably wouldn't even put a squid out there, but as I've not had a doggy, not even had a bite, I'll risk it for a biscuit. Hopefully get into a ray. Big cod loves squid. Big fish get big through eating big baits. A 15-pound cod, it's not really mooching around trying to find 2 blow lug. It's big because it eats big. So it's probably looking out for whiting and squid and pouting. So sometimes you just got to step it up. There you go, anyway. There's a whole calamari to a 3/0 circle and a 4/0 J hook, held with my magic tubing on a 3-foot pulley. As you can see, I'm up on the top now. If I was using fixed balls, I'd be right down there. But I've been pushed back on a steep bank, and when you're using multipliers, you need to get some sort of swing into your cast. And it's pretty much impossible with that bank. I'd end up just blowing my reel up. So you don't have to cast off the top here. If you're using fixed balls, you're right halfway up. Yeah, it's been a bit quiet, as you know. Just sticking out a whole squid. We're about an hour from high now. It's the best time. Just put a double peeler out on that one. And I'll just put a whole squid out in here. If I put blow lug or rag out, it's getting stripped within seconds. Naturally, I've got to hit it a bit further from up here because I've got that, obviously the sand, and then I've got the boulders. I don't really want to be landing it on the boulders. It's fine. I'm up high, I'll probably get it back, but I don't want to risk it. So I'm just going to put one out, hopefully in the tide, off of the top. As I mentioned in quite a lot of my videos, if there was someone fishing to the right of me, I wouldn't do this. If there's people up on the pier, I wouldn't do it, but if I crack off, I'm just going out that way. I'm not harming anyone. You just got to be aware of what's around you. I'm still not overly worried. The best state of tide's still to come for here. And I'll fish it down a bit as well, probably an hour or 2 back if I really want to, or just get out of here and get some food and get to another mark. But let's have a go at sticking it out there, shall I? Haven't really cast for a while, as in putting some power into it. Fine. The timing's a bit out where I haven't done it for a while. Out on the sand. Got to be something out there, isn't there? In the tide. It's a beautiful day though. Look at it. A lot of these recent videos are just sightseeing videos, alright? It's not really about fishing. It's just about enjoying the scenery and getting out and having a good time. If I get a fish, it's a bonus. And it'll probably be like this till March, alright? So stick with it. I'll keep trying, and I'm sure we'll get a bonus fish over the next couple of days. And if not, between Christmas and New Year, I'll go back out again. I've got a chance. I'm enjoying myself though. And I hope you are. Thanks everyone. I'll keep fishing. You know the rules by now. Just coming up to high water now. Just kept going. As you do. I've kept the baits going in. Not much I can do about it. Got some depth. Got tide. I'm not sure what to say. It's real fishing though. Wonder how many times I can say it's real fishing. You know how it is though. This time of year is going to be hard. And we get into the spring and I'll be bagging up. And that'll be the way it is. But at the moment, it's all about effort. A lot of effort for little reward. But the reward is this. We're outside, aren't we? You're at home looking outside, and that's nice as well. I'm just going to get this out there. Double peeler crab in that tide. Let's go. Go on, son. There you go. Effort. Got to be in with a chance, haven't we? It's over £2 in money, that bait. About half hour before high. We've got the depth. Got everything. It's got to be a big fat cod. Smooching around there. Smooching? I don't know if they do that. I mean mooching. A smooching cod. Plenty of fish. Look at it though. Stunning. I just picked this rod up to wind in for the session and I got a bit of weight. I don't think it's a doggy. I hope it isn't anyway. It doesn't feel like a doggy. Probably is though. Have I just saved a blank? I think I might have. It's probably a doggy. It's a blank stopper though. Doesn't feel like a dog. Doesn't mean it isn't. Oh yes, it's a dog all right. We're on the dogs. We're not blanking though. Oh, come on. Not in the lead or not. Come on my son. Oh yes. Not blanking, we're not blanking, we're not blanking. Yes, on a double peeler. Thanks Mr. Dogfish. And there we are, a lesser spotted dogfish. Woohoo! We're not blanking, we're on the fish. I'll get this little chap back. Ugh. Cheers Mr. Dogfish. Wow, I'm like the dog warden now. I'm bagging. Fish on. Yeah. As I mentioned, it's time to pack up, go and get some food, and the dogs will come on the feed. Better than a blank though. This is on straight blow lag. Hopefully it's a big fat cod. Feels like a doggy though. Definitely feels like a dog. Oh, it's come off. Oh, never mind.